About that today. We're excited to have Ms. Nancy Sullivan. She is the principal at Wesson Attendance Center Elementary School, and you guys have got some big stuff happening up there.
We really have, Robert. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to come tell your listeners about the Red Ribbon Week Festival. It'll be held next Thursday evening at Wesson Attendance Center from 5 to 8 p.m.
Now, what is Red Ribbon Week? What is this about?
Well, Red Ribbon Week is observed all over the nation, and the emphasis, of course, is drug education. And you know, we can never start too soon.
Absolutely.
To talk with our children, our grandchildren, about the harmful effects of tobacco, alcohol, and drugs. And of course, as we think about Red Ribbon Week, and schools all over the nation are participating in this, we also want to stress to the listeners that drug education needs to go on year-round.
Right.
It's not just during this 1 week of emphasis, but all year long. And we do that at school. We're teaching them every week, you know, drug ed lessons, because we want them to be informed so they can make healthy choices and smart choices.
Right, and you know the thing about the whole, I admire and respect school teachers and folks in the schools, at the schoolhouse so much, probably more so than I ever have before in my life. But, you know, the duty of a school teacher or a school administrator now has changed over the past few years, because there's more than just teaching reading and writing at school.
There's health issues. You think about Mississippi, we're the most obese state in the nation. So now we're trying to teach good nutrition to the kids as well. So we're trying to do everything to educate them as a whole person, not just the academics, but all the facets that make them a healthy individual.
Well, I know that this drug campaign, drug awareness, has really taken off, I guess, in the past, what, 5, 10 years?
Oh, gosh,
maybe?
this began, I guess it was in 1988, when
Okay,
Congress of the United States proclaimed Red Ribbon Week. And it had its beginnings in California back in 1985, where a drug agent, Kiki Camarena, was murdered by drug dealers. He was investigating, trying to stop drug trafficking from Mexico into the United States, trying to make our nation a safer place for our kids. And after he was brutally murdered, the people that knew him and cared about his wife and 3 sons who were left, they began these Camarena clubs. That was the origin.
The original beginning.
And it was really interesting, and their members wore red and would pledge to live a drug-free life. And from that, it caught on nationally, and then Congress declared Red Ribbon Week. And so schools all over the nation will be participating, and our kids get really excited at school. Our SAD club, which is part of the high school, Students Against Drunk Drivers, had the opportunity to decide what we'd wear each day next week as we celebrate Red Ribbon Week. And I want to share some of these. It's really fun, because the high school kids thought of these little themes for each day. Like Monday, our theme is Fight Away Bad Decisions. And the kids are to dress like a pirate or a ninja. And so these sorts of things really help get that into their heads. You know, we've got to fight drugs and say no to drugs. On Tuesday, make the future brighter. And we want them to wear sunshades, you know, thinking about a brighter future, or they can dress like they imagine people will dress in the future. Then on Wednesday, white out drugs, and everybody's going to wear whites. And Thursday, rock out drugs, and the kids love this. They're going to get to dress like rock stars. And Friday, their all-time favorite, since it's so close to Halloween, scare away drugs, and they're going to get to wear their Halloween costumes. No mask, but they can wear the costume.
How fun. That'll be, and that's all week next week.
That's all next week.
And that's part of the Red Ribbon Week at the Wesson Attendance Center, the elementary school. And these kids come up with these ideas.
That's right. These were the high school students' ideas that we're implementing K through 12, because the elementary kids just love getting to wear all these different things. You know, I see a lot of ninjas Monday morning. Right,
absolutely. You know, and Paul Gallo this morning was actually talking something along this line about how our kids, and smaller kids, and it seems to be getting younger and younger, making more decisions for themselves, and how we need to better prepare them to make better, smarter decisions.
You are absolutely
because in most cases, not in all cases, but in a lot of cases, I'll say, there's not a lot of parental involvement to help make those decisions.
Unfortunately. In America today, the schools kind of have to take the place of the parent many times in instilling right ways in our children. And Chuck, you may remember years ago, like I'm thinking of the generation of the 40s.
Mhm.
You know, that was so socially accepted for them to use tobacco products, to smoke or whatever. Now, as we've gained information, we know the harmful effects. So we've got to empower our kids to make smart choices by sharing the information with them of the harmful effects.
Absolutely. My kid, on a side note, my children are actually, I have a 16-year-old, 12-year-old, and a 6-year-old. My 12-year-old is reading The O'Reilly Factor for Kids, the book.
Wow.
And in it, one of the stories is he has his own little personal story at the end of each chapter, and it's really well written. And he makes a statement about back in the day. I don't remember who it was or the original person, but he said that Bill O'Reilly was asked to be the Marlboro Man, and he declined that offer. And then whoever it was, who became the Marlboro Man?
Football player.
Yeah,
Clarksdale.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. But anyhow, he was talking about his decision to turn down that offer, and it was a lot of money to become the Marlboro Man. But eventually, the Marlboro Man died of cancer.
With lung cancer.
That's right,
if I
lung
remember
cancer.
correctly.
That's right.
And it's just heartbreaking. And we
Right.
don't want our children to be in situations that they don't know how to handle. So we kind of have to rehearse with them as parents, as teachers. How do you say no when somebody's offering you a cigarette? Or how do you say no when they're trying to get you to join in and drinking a beer?
Right.
And we just want our children to be prepared for those situations.
And we talk about drug awareness, and we talk about Red Ribbon Week, easy
It's a
for you
tongue
to say,
twister, I
but
promise
Red
you.
Ribbon Week at the school, and first thing we think about is, probably that comes to mind is marijuana or other illegal drugs, but alcohol and tobacco are drugs.
Absolutely. And
You know?
it's so unhealthy for them, and I want them to be empowered. I want them to be ready to face those situations and say no. And we have to rehearse it with them. But it's never too soon. I want to stress that to those of you who are listening today who are parents or grandparents. Talk with your children about this. And also, bring them to the Red Ribbon Week Festival next Thursday night.
Right.
I want to tell them a little bit about some
Absolutely.
of the activities that we'll be having.
Now,
that
this is
evening.
open to everybody. They can come
This
to the
is
school
open
and
to
take part of it, right?
all of our friends and neighbors and surrounding communities. You don't have to live in Weston to
Right.
come to this festival. And bring the children, the grandchildren. You can drive a little, spend a little, but have a great big time. We'll have our canteen is the school cafeteria, but there the families could come in and have supper together. We'll be selling pizza. And there they can get their snow cones, popcorn, cotton candy, all the traditional festival things, and just sit down together and have fun eating together as a family. And that in itself is quite an accomplishment for families nowadays, to even eat together. So the canteen will be there, and then they can begin to take part in all the fun events. In our old gym that we call the old gym at Weston, because we have 2 gymnasiums, we have the fun jumps, and they love that. And then, of course, we've got all kinds of activities. If you have small children, there's plenty of things for them to do, plus there's activities for the older kids as well. There's a photo gallery that a lot of our parents enjoy having their little ones in a fall, autumn scene take their picture. And if you do that every year, you've kind of got a record of their growth, And this is our 6th year, so we hope to continue this festival.